Here's my ranking of all of the Mission Impossible movies. Coming in at last at number 8, Mission Impossible 2. Now, as much as I wanted to put Mission Impossible 3 last, out of respect to Philip Seymour Hoffman, I'm not going to do that. Honestly, I don't hate 2 as much as other people. It's definitely not a good movie, but the fact that it took place in 2000, turn of the century, the turn of the millennium, I guess I just have a soft spot for those movies. The aesthetic of the movie, it really reminds me of Too Fast, Too Furious. With that being said, I just can't put it ahead of any of the other movies. Coming in at number 7 and second to last, Mission Impossible 3. A lot of people love this movie, I just don't get it. I know Philip Seymour Hoffman's great, but I think this is not the most boring movie, but aesthetically the worst movie. I just don't love the plot. I know there's some intense scenes, but for me, this movie just doesn't really do it. When I go back and watch these movies, this is definitely not one of the ones that I'm going to be watching. Coming in at number 6, the latest one, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. The stunts in this movie were amazing, so it's really hard to talk badly about it, but I was just underwhelmed by the rest of the movie. I don't like the AI villain. I don't like Gabriel as a villain. I thought the rest of the movie was just kind of weak, kind of mediocre, and I think the stunts of the movie should have been taking place in the beginning of the movie. I think these movies are better when it starts off with a big stunt, similar to Rogue Nation, and I just didn't really love where this movie kind of went with the plot, and I just thought it was way too long. It's the longest of the movies. I think it's a little bit better. It could have shaved off 15, 20 minutes at least. So yeah, number 6, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. Coming in at number 5, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I like this movie a bit more than Final Reckoning. I think it's a little bit more of an exciting story, a better plot, better action scenes. However, similar problems to Final Reckoning. I don't like the same villain. I don't like Gabriel. I don't like AI. I think it would have been much more interesting to have real-life villains, or not real-life villains, but people as villains. And I think this movie was a step down from Rogue Nation and Fallout, and even Ghost Protocol. Coming in at number 4, Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. Now, the climb of the Burj Khalifa is probably, or possibly, my favorite sequence of the entire franchise. I think it's absolutely great. I think this is the movie that really took this franchise to the next level with the action scenes, with the stunts. I think this is really what kind of made Mission Impossible what it was, what we know it is to be. I think from 4 on, it clearly was on a separate level than 1 to 3. And I think this movie is way better than 3. With that being said, I just don't think it's better than the 3 movies I have ahead of it. A lot of people have this ahead of Rogue Nation. I think Rogue Nation is slightly better. I'll get into it. But again, still a really, really good movie. I just like, I like the other 3 a bit more. But again, the Burj Khalifa climb is great. The team that's come together, bringing Simon Pegg back, bringing Ving Rhames back. So also the introduction of Jeremy Renner's character. So again, a really, really solid movie. Definitely a step up from the bottom 4. This is kind of where the list, I think, takes kind of like a gap. But a really solid movie. Coming in at number 3, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. I think this movie has honestly become underrated in a way because I feel like Fallout gets more attention, and even Ghost Protocol gets a bit more attention, and this kind of falls out in between. But a really, really good movie. The introduction of Rebecca Ferguson's character. I don't even remember. It's so hard to talk about the plot of this movie. I remember the water scene, but I just remember the pacing being very good. I think just the overall plot of this movie, I think, is stronger than the other movies. I really like the Syndicate as a villain. I think it was a very strong villain, the strongest villain of this franchise. Beginning of the movie, I think this is the movie where he's like in the phone booth and he gets like gassed. It's a really intense movie, really good, and this is kind of what starts the sequence because I think Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout gets better and better and better. It falls off, unfortunately, with Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning, but I think these movies are very good. At number 2, Mission Impossible: Fallout. Now, this was very tough. I almost put this number 1. I think by far these 2 movies are ahead of the rest, in my opinion. But Fallout was great. I think by far the best one of the modern movies, of the newer movies. Henry Cavill was great. I love the stunts in this movie. I love the Halo jump. And then, obviously, he takes off, I think, in the beginning. No, that was Rogue Nation with the plane. What's the other stunt in this movie? But anyway, the Henry Cavill character was great. The part where he kind of reloads his arms to fight in the bathroom was great. Great bathroom fight. People say it's obvious who the villain is, but I disagree. I think this is their version. I keep talking about Fast and Furious. I think this is Mission Impossible's kind of Fast 5. I think this is like the top of their game. If you were to show someone like one of the modern movies, I think this is the one you show them. And coming to number one, this might be controversial, the first Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible 1. I just love this movie. I love the aesthetic of this movie. This movie has a tone that the other movies don't really have. I think it's because time goes by. You go from 96 to 2000, then to 2006, and then once you get to the rest of the movies, you're already in 2011. So this is the only movie with this kind of aesthetic. Jon Voight is great. I just love the early internet stuff. I love the technology in this movie. I love the way the movie looks, the way the movie feels. It just has a vibe that the other movies don't have in a very different way. Very similarly, again, to the Fast and Furious movies, how Fast and Furious, the first one is very different from the other ones. And if you like that, it just sticks out. That's like that. This is like that for me. I think it's fair to put Fallout ahead of this if you like Fallout. I think it's fair to put Ghost Protocol or Rogue Nation. I can't really see putting the other four ahead of this movie. I'm sorry. People who say Mission Impossible 3 is their favorite, that's just crazy to me. I mean, if you want to put it in the upper half, okay, but as the best, I just think it's nuts. So yeah, that's my rankings. I love the Mission Impossible franchise. Obviously, historic franchise. We'll see if they make another one or if they reboot it with someone else. But those are my rankings. Thanks, guys, for watching. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.